We know that Africa as well as Nigeria relies heavily on subsistence farming. So where's the impetus to create the viable farming that's needed?
Thank you. Well, we do know that although African governments realize that agriculture is a main engine of economic growth, they have actually not developed it to the extent that it could supply sufficient food for the populations in the continent. And that is because they have not oriented the agriculture to the market. So the producers, both the small and the medium scale, do not target the market. They produce for subsistence, what they can eat, what their next neighbor can eat. And that is exactly why the program that is being developed now, the one we call the 3 ADI, that is African Agribusiness and Agro-Industries Development Initiative, targets the downstream sector of agriculture. In other words, if emphasis could be placed more on developing agriculture as a business.
Yes,
and
Professor, so how exactly do we exploit the resources in terms of agriculture that we have in Africa? How exactly do we do that?
Well, we do that definitely by investing more in that subsector. And from what we have calculated, between 2006 and 2050, it is estimated that we need about $940 billion of investment in agriculture. 66% of that $940 billion has to be targeted towards agribusiness and agro-industries development.
So where's the money coming from?
And of course, well, it will come from both the public and the private sectors. The financing facility that is being established for this program is going to depend on the banks, all the banks, the central banks, African Development Bank, and the commercial banks in Africa to provide money that is going to be used as equity funding for the entrepreneurs, both in the business, in the private sector, and our small and medium-scale farmers.
Now, we've seen there have been a lot of programs in terms of agriculture to implement right agricultural procedures, policies, etc. How different will be the 3ADI program be compared to all the other programs we've had?
Okay, well, first of all, 3ADI is going to use structures that are already on ground, like the CADEP program, especially Pillar 2, the NAPAD, and all those other structures like the regional economic communities that have already provided some basic structures that could support agriculture. We are going to tie in to them. And by using them, the money that is going to be made available will then be on those infrastructures that are known to be needed for processing, for marketing, for transporting, all these things.
By the time we decide on strategies, etc., we know that everybody actually has to eat. So why are we not feeding the people instead of coming up with strategies and then changing the strategies? Because food is important to all.
Please, can you repeat that? I didn't hear you very well.
Basically, currently, why are we not feeding the people? Why are we still looking for strategies? Because we know in the past we've had many a program set up by countries, by various organizations. So why are we not getting down to it as it is?
Well, I guess it's because there hadn't been that political will and support. Plus the fact that the banking sector or the financiers of various enterprises feel that agriculture is a very risky business. They would like anything that will provide money quickly. But the program under 3ADI is going to mitigate this risk through the various programs, the various aspects of the program that will be used for processing. In other words, those entrepreneurs that are going to be interested in using the raw commodities produced in Africa to add value to them at the various stages of the commodity chain, yes, will definitely be making money, recovering it fast enough to pay. So it will not be like the ordinary farmer that just produces and depends so much on weather. But those people, the entrepreneurs that invest in the downstream sector of the commodity food chain will definitely face less of a risk than those producing.
All right, Professor, we're going to have to leave it there. But thank you so much for your time.